In the 3 years since we got married, Lu Shiyu and I have never had real sex. Every time I wanted to get close to her, she always found various excuses to push me away. Zhang, I'm so tired today. I've been under a lot of work pressure lately and I'm not in a good mood. Let us talk about it later. I can understand it once or twice, but it has been happening every time for 3 years. I am a normal man, 30 years old, when I am full of vigor and vitality. Every night when I lie in bed and look at my wife beside me, I feel like I'm being scratched by a cat. She slept so quietly, as if she was completely unaware of my torment. Today, I finally made up my mind. I added something to her soup. It's not a poison, it's just a medicine my friend gave me, saying it can make women more proactive. I know it's not right, but I really can't stand it. 3 years of sexless marriage is driving me crazy. Shiyu, the soup is ready, drink it while it's hot. I walked into the living room with the soup bowl. Lu Shiyu was watching TV and took the bowl without raising her head. She is very beautiful, with delicate features and fair skin. She is the type that makes men fall in love with her at first sight. I pursued her for a whole year before she agreed to date me. Before we got married, she said she would wait until the wedding night to give it to me. I foolishly believed it, and after we got married, she had a new excuse. Thinking about it now, maybe she never really loved me from the beginning. I sat next to her and watched her eat the soup nervously. It takes about half an hour for the drug to take effect. Zhang, what's wrong with you today? You keep staring at me. Lu Shiyu put down the empty bowl and looked at me puzzledly. Nothing, I just think you look particularly beautiful today. I forced a smile. She rolled her eyes at me and continued watching TV. As time passed, my heart beat faster and faster. The effect of the medicine should be about to take effect. Sure enough, Lu Shiyu began to seem a little abnormal. Her cheeks flushed, her breathing became rapid, and her body began to twist. I'm a little hot. She took off her coat, revealing a white shirt underneath. I saw her eyes become blurry and knew the medicine was taking effect. Shiyu, I called her softly and reached out to hug her. But at this moment, she suddenly stood up and looked at me with a look I had never seen before. That look was filled with anger and disgust. Fang Zhang, what did you put in my soup? Her voice was as cold as ice. I was stunned. How did she know? I just. Just what? She walked up to me and looked down at me. Do you think I don't know you drugged me? I lowered my head guiltily. Shiyu, we have been married for 3 years, but you never let me touch you. So you drugged me? She sneered. Fang Zhang, you really make me sick. As she spoke, she raised her hand and slapped him. The crisp sound of slapping echoed in the living room and my face felt burning. Shiyu, I know I was wrong, but we are husband and wife. Husband and wife? She laughed sarcastically. Are you worthy? These words pierced my heart like a sword. Do I deserve it? We got a marriage certificate, held a wedding, and were a legal couple in everyone's eyes. Why am I not worthy? Lu Shiyu, what do you mean? I stood up and questioned her angrily. What do you mean? She straightened her clothes and regained her usual calm. It's nothing, I just think your behavior is very obscene. Obscene? I pursued you for a year, married you for 3 years, and never touched other women. Is this obscene? That's your own business. She said expressionlessly, I never forced you to marry me. But you are my wife. What about my wife? Am I obliged to sleep with you? Her words made me completely angry. Lu Shiyu, what do you think of me? What? She thought about it and decided to be a free long-term meal ticket. This sentence was like a bolt from the blue, leaving me completely dumbfounded. Free long-term meal tickets? So this is how I am in her heart? Why did you marry me? I asked tremblingly. Because you have a house and a car, and a stable job, you can give me a sense of security. She said it directly without any concealment. But I love you. Love? She sneered. That's your business. I didn't ask you to love me. I looked at the woman in front of me and felt like a joke. For 3 years, I have treated her like a treasure and turned down countless opportunities for her. And she? Treated me like a free meal ticket. Who do you love then? I asked through gritted teeth. Lu Shiyu was stunned for a moment, then quickly regained her composure. This has nothing to do with you. It's okay? I'm your husband. Legal husband, she stressed, nothing more. I feel like my heart is breaking. In her eyes, 3 years of marriage is just a piece of paper contract? Lu Shiyu, you're going too far. Too much? She sneered. The man who drugged my wife said I was too much? I was left speechless by what she said. Indeed, it was my fault for drugging her. But I really can't stand this kind of sexless marriage. I'm going to take a shower, she said, and walked towards the bathroom without looking back. I sat on the couch and felt like my whole world was falling apart. It turns out that for the past 3 years, I have been in a one-man show. Lu Shiyu has never loved me, and has never even looked at me straight in the eye. What am I doing wrong? Why endure such pain? I heard the sound of water in the bathroom and I knew she was taking a shower. Wash away the medicine I gave her and also wash away my expectations of her. From today on, I will re-examine this marriage. Since she doesn't love me, there is no need for me to continue to be infatuated with her. I want to find out who she really loves. Since she could deceive me for 3 years, I will make her pay the price. The next morning, Lu Shiyu made breakfast as normal, as if nothing had happened. She was wearing a beige business suit and her hair was combed meticulously, looking dignified and elegant. If it weren't for the conversation last night, I would have almost thought it was all a dream. Breakfast is ready, she said calmly, just like usual. I sat down at the dining table and looked at the porridge and side dishes in front of me. I used to think this was heartwarming, but now I find it extremely ironic. What happened last night? I opened my mouth to say something. What happened last night? She looked up at me, her eyes clear of any emotion. I was stunned for a moment. Is she pretending to have amnesia? It's about me giving you the medicine. Oh, that incident. She said lightly that it was over and no need to mention it again. But the problem between us. What's the problem? She interrupted me, Jiangyu, our marriage is normal, there is no problem. I looked at her and felt like she was schizophrenic. Last night I was saying I was getting a free meal ticket, but today I'm just pretending nothing happened. Shiyu, we need to have a good talk. What to talk about? She stood up and cleared the dishes. I have to go to work. Let us talk about it in the evening. After saying that, she picked up her bag and was about to leave. Wait. I called her, who do you love? Her body visibly stiffened for a moment, but quickly returned to normal. I have no idea what you are talking about. Last night you said you had someone you loved. Do I have any? She turned her head and looked at me, Jiangyu, are you under too much pressure? Do you want to see a psychiatrist? I laughed out loud at her words. She actually said I had mental problems? Lu Shiyu, stop pretending. I heard everything you said last night. What? I went to bed early last night. She looked innocent. I was completely irritated by her. How long are you going to keep pretending? I'm not pretending, you're just imagining things. She looked at her watch and thought, I really have to go, otherwise I'll be late. After saying that, she really left, leaving me alone in the restaurant. I looked at the breakfast on the table and suddenly lost my appetite. This woman is more cunning than I thought. To prevent piracy of Xiaohu bot files, choose Xiaohu, which is stable and reliable, and you won't fall into traps. What she said last night when the drug took effect was absolutely true. But now, she pretended to remember nothing. I took out my cell phone and called the company to ask for leave. Today I'm going to take a good look at my wife. Since she refused to tell the truth, I would find the answer myself. I opened her computer to see if I could find any clues. But a password is required. I tried her birthday, our anniversary, but neither was right. Finally I tried a date and it actually worked. That was a date 3 years ago, 6 months before we got married. This date must be very important to her. After turning on the computer, I started looking through her files. Mostly work-related, nothing special. Until I saw a hidden folder. The folder's name is a single letter, J. I opened the folder and it was full of photos. I know the man in the photo. He is the general manager of Lu Shi US company, Jiang Ziyuan. In his 40s, married with a daughter. In all the photos, Lu Shiyu and Jiang Ziyuan are very close. Some were eating in restaurants, some were in hotels, and some were even in bed. My hands started to tremble. It turns out that she really has someone she loves, and he is a married man. I continued to look through the photos and found that the earliest one was from 4 years ago. In other words, when I was pursuing her, she was already with Jiang Ziyuan. And we have been married for 3 years, and her relationship with Jiang Ziyuan has continued. I suddenly understood everything. Why won't she let me touch her? Why is she always so cold to me? Why did she marry me? Because she needed a cover that would allow her and Jiang Ziyuan to continue their secret relationship. And I am the perfect cover. A fool who loves her to no end. I turned off my computer and slumped in my chair. For 3 years, I always thought that my wife was cold to me because I was not charming enough. It turns out that her heart has never been with me. I took out my cell phone and dialed a number. Hello, is this a private investigator? I want to investigate someone. Since she wants to act, I will accompany her to the end. I want to collect enough evidence so that she can no longer make excuses. Then, I will make both her and Jiang Ziyuan pay the price. In the afternoon, the private detective came. He is a middle-aged man in his 40s with rich experience. I showed him the photo and told him my request. Mr. Fong, I have seen this kind of thing many times. The detective said, "Don't worry, I will give you a detailed investigation report within a week. I want all the evidence, including when they met, where they met, and what they did." No problem, this is my specialty. After the detective left, I began to think about what to do next. Divorce was certain, but I couldn't let her get away with it so easily. She deceived me for 3 years and played me like a fool for 3 years. I must avenge this. In the evening, Lu Shiyu came back. She seemed to be in a good mood, humming while cooking dinner in the kitchen. "Jiangyu, why didn't you go to work today?" she asked. "I'm not feeling well, so I asked for leave," I replied coldly. "Oh, do you want to go to the hospital?" she asked with concern. If I didn't know the truth, I might still be touched by her concern. But now, I just feel sick. No need, just take a rest. That's good. She continued to cook. By the way, I have to go on a business trip for a few days tomorrow and may not be back for a week. On business trip? I sneered, she must be having a tryst with Jiang Ziyuan. Where are you going on business trip? I asked even though I knew the answer. Nanjing, there is a project to discuss, she said casually. Going alone? Of course not, Mr. Jiang is going too. She spoke very naturally, without any guilt at all. This woman's acting skills are really superb. Then you guys. We what? She looked back at me. It's nothing, be safe. Yeah, I will. While eating dinner, I secretly observed her. She ate elegantly and occasionally chatted with me about work. If you don't know her true face, anyone would think she is a perfect wife. Unfortunately, behind perfection lies deception and betrayal. I'm full, so I'll go take a shower first. I stand up. Okay, I'll clean up the dishes. In the bathroom, I sent the detective a text message. I am going to Nanjing on a business trip tomorrow with Jiang Ziyuan, so please pay close attention. Soon, the detective replied, "Got it, we will track it throughout the process." When I came out of the shower, Lu Shiyu was already packing her luggage. What time is the flight tomorrow? I asked. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. She was tidying up her clothes without even looking up. I noticed that she had packed the most beautiful clothes and even some sexy lingerie that I had never seen before. It seems that she came well prepared for this business trip. It's so early. Let me take you to the airport. No need, Mr. Jiang will come to pick me up. She said it naturally. I clenched my fists, trying to control my anger. Zhang Ziyuan actually came directly to my house to pick up my wife? These two people are really bold. Well, then. I forced a smile. That night, I lay on the bed, looking at Lu Shiyu beside me. Tomorrow she will enjoy 7 days of sweet time with her lover. And I, the husband, was kept in the dark like a fool. But it doesn't matter, these days will soon be over. I have already started planning, and when she comes back, her true colors will be revealed. Lu Shiyu, since you want to play, I will play with you to the end. See who will have the last laugh in the end. At 7 o'clock the next morning, the doorbell rang. I knew Zhang Ziyuan was here. I went to open the door. Lu Shiyu hurriedly stood up and tidied her hair. I lay in bed and listened to her open the door. Mr. Jiang, good morning. Her voice was sweet. Shiyu, are you ready? Zhang Ziyuan's voice came in. It will be ready soon. Please come in and sit down for a moment. No, I'll wait for you in the car, hurry up. I looked through the gap in the curtains and saw a black Mercedes parked downstairs. Zhang Ziyuan sat in the driver's seat, wearing sunglasses, looking very stylish. Lu Shiyu dragged her suitcase downstairs. I saw that when she got into the car, Zhang Ziyuan helped her close the door with a very ambiguous gesture. The car drove away and I immediately called the detective. They left in a black Mercedes with the license plate number SUE 88888. Received. I'm already at the airport. After hanging up the phone, I felt empty. The house suddenly became so quiet that it was suffocating. I get up, wash, and go to work. When my colleagues saw me, they all asked me why I took leave yesterday. I made up an excuse to get by. I was absent-minded all morning. My mind is filled with images of Lu Shiyu and Zhang Ziyuan. They should have arrived in Nanjing by now. Are they in the same room? Or did they book 2 rooms to conceal their tracks? No matter what, they are going to be together. The thought of this makes me feel sick. At noon, the detectives sent the photos. Lu Shiyu and Zhang Ziyuan did take the same flight. While waiting for the flight at the airport, the two sat very close to each other, and Zhang Ziyuan's hand was always on Lu Shiyu's waist. Lu Shiyu leaned on his shoulder with a sweet expression on her face. I've never seen her look like this before. In the 3 years she has been with me, she has never smiled so sweetly. It turns out that she can also act coquettishly and be dependent on others. It's just that the target is not me. In the afternoon, the detectives sent another message. They stayed in the same hotel but booked 2 rooms, room numbers 1203 and 1205, adjacent to each other. You still have to do some surface work. If someone from the company sees you, you'll have an excuse. In the evening, I returned home from get off work. The empty house makes me feel depressed. I turned on the TV to distract myself. But what was broadcast on TV happened to be a family ethics drama, telling the story of a wife cheating on her husband. I quickly changed the channel, but no matter how I changed, I felt like every channel was laughing at me. I simply turned off the TV and took out some wine to drink. The alcohol numbed me a little, but the pain in my heart became clearer. For 3 years, I treated this woman as the most important person in my life. For her, I rejected countless advances from the opposite sex. For her, I spent all my spare time with her. For her, I even turned down the opportunity for promotion because it required a business trip and I couldn't bear to leave her. But what about her? What does she take me for? A free babysitter? A shield? Or is it a spare tire that can be discarded at any time? The cell phone rang. It was a text message from Lu Shiyu. Jiangyu, we have arrived safely. The hotel environment is good. We will start working tomorrow. You should take good care of yourself at home. If you miss me, please call me. When I saw this text message, I almost dropped my phone. She actually has the nerve to ask me to miss her? Does she know what she is doing? I typed a reply, okay, you should also take care of your health and don't work too hard. After sending the text message, I felt ironic. I actually care about a cheating wife. Just then, the detective sent more photos. In the photo, Lu Shiyu and Zhang Ziyuan are eating in the hotel restaurant. They sat in a private room. Zhang Ziyuan picked up some food for Lu Shiyu, and Lu Shiyu looked at him sweetly. How can this be the relationship between a boss and subordinates? They are clearly a couple in love. The more I watched, the angrier I became, so I poured myself another glass of wine. At 10 o'clock in the evening, my cell phone rang. It's Lu Shiyu calling. Hello, Zhang Yu. Her voice was very soft, as if she was afraid of being heard. Well, are you done? I pretended to be calm. I just finished a social event and I'm a little tired. She asked, have you eaten? I lied and said that I only drank some wine and didn't eat anything. That's good. I'll take a shower and rest first. I have a lot of work to do tomorrow. Okay, go to bed early. Well, good night. After hanging up the phone, I sneered. Taking a shower? Was it to wash away the smell of hanging out with Zhang Ziyuan? Or is it to prepare for the next exercise? I didn't dare to think about it anymore and could only continue drinking to numb myself. The next morning, when I woke up, I found myself lying on the coffee table. My neck hurt like hell and the taste of alcohol in my mouth made me sick. I managed to stand up and took a shower. The detective sent new photos. This was taken this morning. Lu Shiyu came out of room 1203 and walked towards room 1205. The time is 6:30 in the morning. What was she doing in Zhang Ziyuan's room at this time? The answer is self-evident. I felt a wave of despair. It turned out that after she hung up the phone on me last night, she went to find Zhang Ziyuan. And I, a fool, was still at home worrying about her being too tired from work. On the way to work, I kept thinking about what to do. Should I expose her now, or continue to pretend I don't know? If we expose her now, she will definitely deny it. And Zhang Ziyuan will also be prepared, deleting evidence and so on. It's better to wait until more evidence is collected. With this in mind, I called the detective. Keep tracking, I want all their evidence. I understand, Mr. Fong. But I want to remind you that seeing these photos will put a lot of psychological pressure on you, so you should be prepared. I know, shoot it. I am completely heartbroken. What could be more painful than knowing that my wife is cheating on me? The day was long. I kept checking my phone, waiting for new messages from the detective. Every photo was like a needle, piercing my heart. But I still want to watch it. I want to know how excessive they are. In the evening, Lu Shiyu called me again. This time she sounded tired. Zhang Yu, I'm so tired at work today. I've been talking all day but have achieved nothing. Then go to bed early, I said absent-mindedly. Well, how about you? How was your day at work? Good. Your voice doesn't sound right, do you have a cold? She still cares about me? How ironic. No, just a little tired. Then you should go to bed early and don't stay up late. Okay. After hanging up the phone, I looked at the phone screen with mixed feelings. Is her concern genuine? Or is she just fulfilling her wifely duties? Or, just to cover up your guilt? I don't know and I don't want to know. Anyway, soon, everything will be revealed. When the time comes, I'll see how long she can keep pretending. On the third day, the detective sent a video. It is a picture of Lu Shiyu and Zhang Ziyuan walking in the hotel garden. Zhang Ziyuan put his arm around Lu Shiyu's waist, and Lu Shiyu leaned on his shoulder. The two were talking and laughing, and looked very affectionate. At the end of the video, Zhang Ziyuan kissed Lu Shiyu. It was a very deep kiss that lasted for a full minute. Not only did Lu Shiyu not refuse, she also responded proactively. Seeing this, I finally couldn't help it. I rushed to the bathroom and vomited into the toilet. There is nothing in the stomach, so I can only vomit out acid. But I still couldn't stop retching, as if I wanted to vomit out my heart. Is this the woman I have loved deeply for 5 years? This is the wife I cherish like a treasure? How could she do this to me? Although we don't have love, at least we are husband and wife in name. Where does she put me by doing this? Where does this put our marriage? I sat in the bathroom for a long time until my colleague came to find me. Jiangyu, are you okay? He looks very bad. It's okay, maybe I ate something bad. I stood up with difficulty. Do you want to go to the hospital? No need, just go back and have some rest. I took a leave of absence and went home, lying in bed in a daze. I kept thinking in my mind, what should I do? Go directly to Nanjing to find them? Or should we wait until they come back? Just as I was daydreaming, the phone rang again. This time it wasn't a detective, but an unfamiliar number. Hello? Is this Mr. Fan Jiangyu? Yes, you are? I am Jiang Ziyuan's wife, my name is Chen Yiting. I was stunned. Jiang Ziyuan's wife? Why would she call me? What do you want? Mr. Fong, I think we need to meet and talk. Her voice was calm, about our respective spouses. My heart beat faster. Did she know that too? Okay, when and where? At 3 o'clock this afternoon, at Starbucks, the one in the city center. Okay, I'll be there on time. After hanging up the phone, I felt even more complicated. It seems I'm not the only one who was kept in the dark. Jiang Ziyuan's wife also discovered something. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I arrived at the cafe on time. Chen Yiting is already waiting for me. She was a woman in her 30s, looking elegant but with a tired look in her eyes. Mr. Fong? She took the initiative to greet him. Yes, Ms. Chen. I sat opposite her. Just call me Yiting. She smiled bitterly, our experiences might be very similar. How did you know that? I asked directly. A woman's intuition, and some evidence. She pulled out her phone and showed me some photos. They are all photos of Jiang Ziyuan and Lu Shiyu, some were taken in the company and some were taken outside. I found these photos from my husband's phone. She said the earliest one was 4 years ago. 4 years ago? It matches the time I saw on Lu Shiyu's computer. Does your husband usually talk about my wife? Often. Chen Yiting nodded. He always praised your wife for her strong work ability and intelligence. At first I was quite happy and felt that he had a good subordinate. What happened next? Later I found out that he praised her too often and his eyes were not right. She sighed. When a man talks about another woman, if there is light in his eyes, it is dangerous. I nodded, agreeing deeply. This time they went to Nanjing, private trip. Chen Yiting interrupted me and said there was no work to discuss, it was all just an excuse. Are you sure? Of course I know my husband's schedule very well. During this period, the company has no projects in Nanjing. I felt a surge of anger. It turned out that even the business trip was fake, they went to Nanjing just for a date. So what are you going to do? I asked. Divorce. Chen Yiting said firmly, I will not forgive betrayal. But you have children. It is precisely because we have a child that I cannot tolerate him doing this. Her eyes flashed with determination. I don't want my daughter to see her parents' fake marriage. I admire her courage. So what do you need me to do? I hope we can cooperate. Chen Yiting looked at me and collected evidence together so that they could not deny it. Okay. I agreed without hesitation. I've hired a private investigator and I'm following them. She said, have you found anything over there? I told her the evidence I had collected, including the photos in Lu Shiyu's computer. After hearing this, Chen Yiting's expression became even uglier. I didn't expect they had betrayed us for so long. She smiled bitterly. Yiting, we must make them pay the price. Of course. She nodded, but before that, we have to be fully prepared. You mean? Collect more evidence, including financial evidence. She analyzed that Jiang Ziyuan must have spent a lot of money on your wife over the years, and all of this must be recovered. She is right. I think of Lu Shiyu's consumption level over the years, which is indeed beyond her income. Those brand name bags, expensive cosmetics, and regular beauty care. I always thought she saved money to buy it, but now it seems that it was most likely given by Jiang Ziyuan. So when do we act? Wait for them to come back. Chen Yiting said, give them a surprise. Coming out of the cafe, I felt a little more relaxed. At least I'm not fighting alone. With Chen Yiting as an ally, I am more confident in dealing with Lu Shiyu and Zhang Ziyuan. In the evening, Lu Shiyu called again. This time my mindset was completely different. "Hey, hubby," she called sweetly. "Well, how was your day?" I responded calmly. They are still discussing the project, but there has been some progress. She said that the cooperation intention will probably be confirmed tomorrow. She lies so naturally, I really underestimated her. That's good. Thank you for your hard work. It's not hard. For the company and our future, this little bit of hard work is nothing. For our future? How dare she say such things? Shiyu, I want to ask you a question. I suddenly opened my mouth. What's the problem? If you found out I was cheating on you, what would you do? There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds. Why do you ask? Her voice was a little nervous. Nothing, just asking. Jiangyu, do you have any ideas? She asked. No, I'm just curious. Let me tell you, if you dare to cheat on me, I will divorce you immediately and leave you with nothing. She said it very firmly, as if she was really a wife who was defending her marriage. But these words sounded particularly ironic to me. Oh, then I understand. Jiangyu, you'd better not have such thoughts. She warned, I will not tolerate betrayal. Will not tolerate betrayal? So what is she doing herself? Okay, I'll remember that. I suppressed my anger. That's good. I'm going to take a rest now. I have work to do tomorrow. Well, good night. After hanging up the phone, I sneered. Lu Shiyu, you acted really well. But soon, you can't continue acting. On the 5th day, I received a text message from Chen Yiting. They're back today, and I'm ready for the showdown. Are you ready? Ready, I replied. In the past few days, Chen Yiting and I have been in contact and exchanging the evidence we have collected. She was very efficient. Not only did she get photos of Zhang Ziyuan and Lu Shiyu, she also found Zhang Ziyuan's bank statements. Over the years, the total amount of money Zhang Ziyuan transferred to Lu Shiyu exceeded 500,000. No wonder she can buy so many luxury items. It turns out that all the money was used by Zhang Ziyuan. And I, a fool, thought she just loved beauty and was willing to invest in herself. At 6 o'clock in the afternoon, Lu Shiyu came back. She looked radiant and in a good mood. Jiangyu, I'm back. She put down her luggage and took the initiative to hug me. This was the first time she hugged me in 3 years. If it were in the past, I would have been extremely excited. But now, I just feel sick. I'm back. Thank you for your hard work. I pretended to be very happy. This business trip was very successful, and CEO Jiang was very satisfied with my performance, she said with great joy. I bet Zhang Ziyuan was really satisfied with her performance. That's good. Are you hungry? I'll go cook. No, we ate on the plane. She said, I'll go take a shower first, I haven't had a good rest these days. She went to take a shower, and I took out my cell phone to send a text message to Chen Yiting. She's back, how's it going over there? My husband is back too, and he is bragging about the success of this business trip. Chen Yiting replied, let's proceed according to the plan. Our plan is simple. Tonight, we will confront each other at our respective homes, and then tomorrow we will go to Zhang Ziyuan's company together and expose them in front of everyone. This way, they won't be able to make excuses anymore. Lu Shiyu came out of the shower wearing silk pajamas, looking very sexy. Jiangyu, come and sit down. She patted the bed. I walked over and sat down, sneering in my heart. Is she trying to paralyze me with her beauty? I thought a lot during this business trip. She leaned on my shoulder, and I felt that there were indeed some problems between us. What's the question? I asked even though I knew the answer. It's that kind of problem. She blushed and said, I know you have needs, but I have been avoiding them. To protect Shouhu's documents from piracy, choose Shouhu, a stable and reliable robot without pitfalls. So what? So I decided that from tonight on, we will be a real couple. She looked at me with shyness in her eyes. Are you willing? I almost laughed out loud. Is it that after spending a few days with Jung Ziyuan, she thought of me as her husband? Or did she notice something and wanted to calm me down in this way? Shiyu, are you sure? I pretended to be surprised. Didn't you say that I should focus on my career? Career is important, but the relationship between husband and wife is more important. She said it sincerely. Jiangyu, I have wronged you over the years. Are you wronging me? Does she know what it means to be wronged? It's okay, I understand you. I said gently, but I want to ask you a question first. What's the problem? Do you love me? I looked her straight in the eyes. She was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Of course I love you, you are my husband. Real? Of course it's true. She said, and took the initiative to kiss my cheek. Jiangyu, what's wrong with you? Why do you always ask such strange questions? Because I want to confirm whether there is love between us. I said. Yes, of course. She hugged me even tighter. Jiangyu, I love you. When I heard this, a huge amount of anger surged in my heart. How dare she say such a thing? How could she deceive me like this? Shiyu, since you love me, we shouldn't have any secrets. I said, is there anything you want to tell me? What do you mean? She let go of me, a flash of panic in her eyes. For example, the true situation of this business trip. I don't understand what you're talking about. Her voice began to tremble. You really don't understand? I took out my phone and clicked on the photos the detective sent me. What are these? When Lu Shiyu saw the photo, her face turned pale instantly. You're following me? It's not stalking, it's investigating, I said coldly, investigating what my wife is doing. Jiangyu, these photos are not what you think. She tried to explain in a panic. Not what I thought. I pulled out another photo. What about this one? The photo of you and Jiang Ziyuan kissing, isn't that what I thought either? Lu Shiyu was completely speechless and just stared at me with wide eyes. And these? I continued to flip through the photos, the intimate photos in the hotel, the hugs in the garden, the affectionate gazes in the restaurant. Aren't these what I thought? She wanted to say something, but swallowed the words back when they reached her lips. Lu Shiyu, how long are you going to pretend? I stood up and looked down at her. It's been 4 years. Your affair has lasted for 4 years. No. She shook her head and tears began to flow. What is not? Isn't it an affair? I sneered. Then tell me, what is the relationship between you and Jiang Ziyuan? Lu Shiyu lowered her head and didn't dare to look at me. Speak. I raised my voice. She finally spoke, her voice as small as a mosquito. We are in love. Although I already knew the answer, it still broke my heart to hear her admit it in person. Love? I repeated these 2 words. Then what about me? What am I in your heart? Jiangyu, What am I? I interrupted her. A free meal ticket? A shield? Or a sucker? Lu Shiyu cried even harder, but still didn't dare to look at me. When did you and Jiang Ziyuan start dating? I continued to ask. 4 years ago. She answered quietly. I was chasing you at that time. Yes. So while I was pursuing you, you were already sleeping with other men? Sorry. I'm sorry? I laughed out of anger. Lu Shiyu, do you know how light the word sorry is? You deceived me for 3 years and made me think I married a good wife. You made me think that I couldn't get your love because I was not charming enough. You have me lying in bed every night craving my wife like a pervert. What about you? You hang out with strange men outside, and then you pretend to be pure and indifferent when you get home. With every sentence, my voice got louder. By the end, I was practically roaring. Lu Shiyu was frightened by me and curled up in the corner of the bed, shaking constantly. Jiangyu, I know I was wrong, I really know I was wrong. She begged, please forgive me, can we start over? Start over? I sneered, do you think it's possible? It's possible, we can do it. She crawled over and hugged my legs. Jiangyu, I swear I will never see Jiang Ziyuan again, I only love you. I looked at Lu Shiyu kneeling on the ground, without any pity in my heart. It's too late. I said, it's too late for everything. It's not too late, it's really not too late. She cried and said, Jiangyu, we have been married for 3 years. Isn't the love we have had over the years worth cherishing? Feelings? I squatted down and looked into her eyes. Lu Shiyu, tell me, have you ever been sincere to me for even 1 second in these 3 years? She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Answer me. I yelled. There was she stammered. When? Just usually. What do you usually think about? Are you thinking about Jiang Ziyuan when you are talking to me? Or are you thinking about how to lie to me when you are cooking? Lu Shiyu was completely speechless. Lu Shiyu, you have no heart. I stand up, you don't know what love and loyalty are. In your eyes, marriage is a transaction. I provide money and effort, and you sell your body and feelings. What is funny is that you don't even want to give your body to me, you only want to give it to Jiang Ziyuan. So tell me, what did I get in this deal? Lu Shiyu cried so hard that she couldn't speak and could only shake her head continuously. I tell you what I got. I said coldly, I got 3 years of deception, 3 years of humiliation, 3 years of suffering. And what did you get? You got Jiang Ziyuan's money, Jiang Ziyuan's body, and a stable marriage as a cover. Lu Shiyu, you are such a smart woman. After saying this, I felt more refreshed than ever before. The words that had been held in my heart were finally spoken out, and the anger that had been suppressed in my heart was finally vented. Now, it's time to take the next step. The next morning, I didn't talk to Lu Shiyu. She hadn't slept all night and her eyes were swollen like peaches. Seeing me get up, she followed me immediately. Young Wu, can we talk? She begged. There is nothing to talk about. I said coldly, I am going to work. Are you going to tell anyone? She asked worriedly. What do you think? I asked back. Her face turned even paler. Jiangyu, please don't tell anyone, okay? She knelt down and said, I beg you, give me a chance. I looked at Lu Shiyu kneeling on the ground, without any fluctuation in my heart. Lu Shiyu, do you think this matter can be kept secret? I said, even if I don't tell you, Jiang Ziyuan's wife knows it. What? Her eyes widened in horror. When you were on the plane yesterday, I met with Chen Yuteng. I told her that we exchanged evidence and were ready to deal with you together. Lu Shiyu collapsed on the ground, completely desperate. At 10 o'clock this morning, we will go to Jiang Ziyuan's company. I continued, in front of everyone, we will expose your affair. No. Please don't, she crawled over and hugged my legs. Jiangyu, I know I was wrong, I really know I was wrong. If knowing that you are wrong is useful, what is the use of the police? I shook her off. Lu Shiyu, you have to be responsible for your actions. After saying that, I left home without looking back. At 9:30, Chen Yuting and I met downstairs of Jiang Ziyuan's company. She looked calm, but there was a firm coldness in her eyes. Are you ready? She asked. Ready. I nodded. Then let us go up. We took the elevator to the floor where Jiang Ziyuan's office was located. The front desk clerk saw us and asked politely, do you have an appointment? I am Mr. Jiang's wife. Chen Yuting directly reported her identity and said, I have something to do with my husband. The front desk didn't dare to stop him and could only let him go. We walked straight to Jiang Ziyuan's office. Through the glass door, I saw Jiang Ziyuan talking to Lu Shiyu. Lu Shiyu was crying hard and Jiang Ziyuan was comforting her. It seems that she has told Jiang Ziyuan what happened last night. Chen Yuting also saw this scene and her face became even uglier. It's disgusting. She said coldly, we are still flirting with each other. We pushed the door open. Jiang Ziyuan and Lu Shiyu were both stunned when they saw us. Yuting? Why are you here? Jiang Ziyuan stood up in panic. I came to see my husband's working environment. Chen Yuting sneered, and met his good subordinates by the way. Lu Shiyu hid behind Jiang Ziyuan and didn't dare to look at us. Yating, please listen to my explanation. Jiang Ziyuan wanted to come over. What to explain? Chen Yating took out her phone and clicked on the photo. Explain this? When Jiang Ziyuan saw the photo, his face turned pale instantly. Where did these come from? Of course I took the photo. Chen Yating said, Jiang Ziyuan, I have known about your affair for a long time. No, Yating, you misunderstood. Jiang Ziyuan still wanted to quibble. Misunderstanding? I also took out my phone. Mr. Jiang, what about these? Is this also a misunderstanding? I showed him more pictures, including intimate pictures of them in the hotel. Jiang Ziyuan was completely speechless. Mr. Jiang, you are having a lot of fun. I sneered, how does it feel to use your wife's money to support a mistress? Jiang Yu, don't talk nonsense. Lu Shiyu finally spoke, but her voice was trembling badly. Nonsense? I looked up the bank statement again. This is the money Jiang Ziyuan transferred to you, a total of 530,000. You say this is not a maintenance fee? Lu Shiyu completely collapsed when she saw her bank statement. She knew that the evidence was conclusive and could no longer be denied. Shiyu, what's wrong with you? What happened? Several colleagues suddenly appeared at the office door, apparently attracted by our quarrel. Seeing so many people, Jiang Ziyuan and Lu Shiyu became even more panicked. It's okay, you guys go back to work? Jiang Ziyuan waved his hand to let his colleagues leave. But my colleagues were obviously very curious and were standing at the door watching. Chen Yating seized this opportunity, raised her voice and said, Everyone, let me introduce myself to you. This is my husband Jiang Ziyuan, and this is his mistress Lu Shiyu. They have been maintaining an improper relationship for 4 years, and just a few days ago, they went to Nanjing together for a tryst. When my colleagues heard this, they were stunned. Some people started whispering, and some took out their phones to take pictures. Yating, don't talk nonsense. Jiang Ziyuan got anxious, this is the company, don't make trouble. Making trouble? Chen Yating sneered, I am just stating the facts. If you think I'm talking nonsense, take a look at the evidence. She handed her phone to her colleagues who were watching and asked them to look at the photos. When my colleagues saw the photos, they all looked shocked. Oh my god, it's really Mr. Jiang and designer Lu. They actually have this kind of relationship. How shameless. Mr. Jiang has a family and designer Lu is also married. The discussions became louder and louder, and Jiang Ziyuan and Lu Shiyu's faces turned as red as monkey butts. Enough! Jiang Ziyuan yelled, go back to work. But no one paid any attention to him, everyone was excitedly discussing the explosive news. Jiang Ziyuan, Lu Shiyu. I said loudly, from today on, your ugly deeds will be made public. You will not only have to bear moral condemnation, but also legal sanctions. Legal sanctions? Jiang Ziyuan looked at me in confusion. Of course. Chen Yating continued, have you heard of bigamy? We didn't commit bigamy. Lu Shiyu hurriedly explained. No bigamy? I sneered, what is this? I have consulted a lawyer. Chen Yating said that your long-term stable cohabitation relationship is legally bigamy. Moreover, Jiang Ziyuan, you misappropriated company funds to support your mistress, which is also suspected of being a duty-related crime. Hearing this, Jiang Ziyuan was completely panicked. He didn't expect things to be so serious. Yating, can we solve this privately? He begged, don't make such a big fuss. Solve it privately? Chen Yating laughed sarcastically, Jiang Ziyuan, you betrayed me for 4 years, and now you want to solve it privately? Dream. At this time, the company's boss was also alarmed and rushed over in a hurry. What's going on? Asked the boss. Chen Yating told the boss what had happened, including the fact that Jiang Ziyuan had misappropriated company funds. After hearing this, the boss's face turned very ugly. Jiang Ziyuan, is this true? The boss asked. Jiang Ziyuan lowered his head and dared not answer. From now on, you are suspended. The boss announced on the spot that the company would thoroughly investigate the matter, and if it was true, we would report it to the police. And you, Lu Shiyu. The boss turned to Lu Shiyu and said, "You have also been suspended, awaiting the results of the investigation." When Lu Shiyu heard this, she completely collapsed. Not only did she lose me as her husband, she also lost her job. "Boss, please give me a chance," she begged. "Opportunity?" The boss sneered. "What chance do you need if you have such a relationship in the company? Pack up your things and leave the company immediately." Zhang Ziyuan and Lu Shiyu packed up their things and left dejectedly amidst the pointing and talking of the crowd. Walking out of the company building, Chen Yuting breathed a sigh of relief. "Revenge at last," she said. I nodded, feeling a sense of relief in my heart. But at the same time, I also felt a sense of emptiness. Revenge, and then what? My marriage is ruined and my trust is shattered. Even if Lu Shiyu and Zhang Ziyuan are punished, what I lost can never be recovered. "Zhengyu, are you okay?" Chen Youting asked with concern. "It's okay, just a little tired." I forced a smile. She patted my shoulder, "But this is just the beginning, and there is still a divorce lawsuit to go." "Yeah, I know." We each went home and prepared for the next round of battle. I'm already halfway to winning the battle to save my marriage. But the real test is yet to come. When I got home, Lu Shiyu was sitting in the living room in a daze. When she saw me come in, she stood up immediately. Young Wu, her voice was choked with sobs. "Pack your things and get out of here," I said coldly. "I won't leave." She shook her head. "This is my home." "Your home?" I sneered. "Lu Shiyu, you should understand that this house was bought before I got married, and only my name is on the property certificate. But we are a couple. Husband and wife?" I interrupted her and asked, "Have you ever been a good wife for a day? You have been cheating on me for 4 years and now you still pretend to be innocent when you come home. Are you worthy of being called my wife?" Lu Shiyu was left speechless by what I said. "I'll give you an hour to pack your things." I looked at my watch, and in an hour, I didn't want to see you here. "Zhengyu, please, don't chase me away." She knelt down and said, "I really know I was wrong. Please give me a chance, okay?" "Opportunity?" I squatted down and looked at her. "Lu Shiyu, do you know what opportunity is? 4 years ago you had the chance to reject Zhang Ziyuan, but you didn't. 3 years ago you had the chance to confess before you got married, but you didn't. You've had countless opportunities to stop betraying me over the past 3 years, but you didn't. Now you're telling me you want a chance?" Lu Shiyu cried even harder, but my heart was as hard as stone. "Zhengyu, I am willing to do anything to make amends, please don't abandon me." She hugged my legs and said, "What should I do without you?" "What should I do?" "I'll get rid of her and go find your Zhang Ziyuan. Zhang Ziyuan is busy taking care of himself now, do you think he will still want you? What responsibilities do you think a man who abandoned his wife and daughter for you will take for you?" Lu Shiyu was stunned. Obviously she had never thought about this question. "Zhengyu, I don't want Zhang Ziyuan anymore, I only want you," she said. "But I don't want you anymore," I replied coldly. "Lu Shiyu, you are already dead in my heart." This sentence completely broke her down. She collapsed to the ground and burst into tears. I looked at her without any pity in my heart. 3 years of pain, 3 years of humiliation, 3 years of deception. Would her crying for a while offset that? The time has come. An hour later, I said coldly, "Are you ready?" Lu Shiyu was dragging a suitcase and looking at me with red eyes. "Zhengyu, can't we really start over?" she asked one last time. "No," I answered without hesitation. She nodded and dragged her suitcase towards the door. At the door, she looked back at me. "Zhengyu, whether you believe it or not, I really loved you." "Love?" I sneered. "Lu Shiyu, you don't even know the definition of love. Love is loyalty, trust, and respect. And all you gave me was betrayal, deception, and humiliation. That's not love, that's exploitation." After saying that, I turned and walked towards the bedroom without looking at her anymore. When I heard the door close, I knew she was really gone. I sat on the bed, looking at the empty room, with mixed feelings. The anger has been almost fully released, and all that remains is emptiness and exhaustion. The 3-year marriage ended just like that. The cell phone rang. It was Chen Yiting calling. Zhang Yu, I'm already at the law firm. When will you come over? Coming soon. I packed up and went to the law firm. Chen Yiting is already discussing the details of the divorce with her lawyer. Mr. Fong, please take a seat. The lawyer is a middle-aged woman who looks very professional. Ms. Chen has already told me the situation. In your case, the divorce was caused by the other party's serious fault, and you can ask for damages. What compensation do I want? I asked. Mental damages, as well as the other party's unjust enrichment over the years. The lawyer explained that according to our investigation, the other party has obtained a large amount of property through improper relationships over the years, and you have the right to ask for it back. Okay, I'll follow your arrangements. We spent the next hour discussing specific strategies for divorce litigation. The attorney was very professional and took every detail into consideration. The trial is expected to begin within a month. The lawyer said that based on the existing evidence, you have a high chance of winning the case. Thank you. Chen Yiting and I said at the same time. After leaving the law firm, Chen Yiting invited me to sit in a cafe. Thank you for your hard work today, she said. Same here, we are allies, I replied. Zhang Yu, what are you going to do in the future? She asked with concern. What to do? It's emotionally. She was a little embarrassed. Do you still believe in marriage? I thought about it. It would be a lie to say that I didn't believe it, but I definitely won't consider it in the short term. I understand. She nodded. I am the same. Being betrayed once is enough. We talked for a long time and found that we had a lot in common. They are all people who have been betrayed, have experienced pain, and are trying to start over. Zhang Yu, if you want, we can be friends. She said, support each other and encourage each other. Okay. I agree. There are not many people in this world who can understand my pain. Chen Yiting is one of them. When I got home, I felt uncomfortable with the empty house. In the past, no matter how late I got home, there would always be lights on and someone waiting for me. Although that person's heart is not with me, at least it is warm in form. Now there is nothing. I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on the balcony to watch the night view. The city lights are bright, but my heart is dark. What has this 3-year marriage left me with? There seems to be nothing but pain and lessons. The phone rang, it was an unfamiliar number. Hello? Zhang Yu, it's me. It's Lu Shiyu's voice. Did you change your number? Zhang Ziyuan gave me a new number. She said, Zhang Yu, can we meet? I have something to say. There's nothing much to say. Please, just one last time, she begged. I promise I won't bother you again after this. I hesitated. Where? In the cafe downstairs. I'd been waiting here for 2 hours. I was a little surprised. She had been waiting for me downstairs? Okay, I'll come down. In the coffee shop downstairs, Lu Shiyu sat in the corner. She looked haggard, her eyes were red and her hair was messy. She is completely different from the delicate and beautiful girl she used to be. What do you want to say? I sat opposite her. Zhang Yu, I want to tell you the whole truth of the matter. She looked at me, about me and Zhang Ziyuan. I already know enough. No, you don't know enough. She shook her head. You don't know why I'm with him. I frowned. What do you mean? Zhang Ziyuan started harassing me when I first joined the company 4 years ago. She said he used his power to threaten me, saying that if I didn't obey him, he would make it difficult for me to continue in this industry. What? I was shocked. I just graduated, I didn't know anything, and I didn't dare to resist. Lu Shiyu continued, so I gave in. At first I thought I could just endure it, but he became more and more excessive. Later, when I wanted to resign, he threatened to make our relationship public and ruin my reputation. I was controlled by him and had no choice but to continue this relationship. Hearing this, my mood became complicated. If what she said was true, then she was also a victim? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I asked. What should I say? Lu Shiyu smiled bitterly and told you that my boss had taken advantage of me. Would you marry a woman who has been played by others? I was silent. What would I have done if she had told me the truth 4 years ago? I probably wouldn't marry her. So you kept it a secret? I was thinking of leaving the company after marriage and completely severing my relationship with him, Lu Shiyu said, but Jiang Ziyuan disagreed. He said if I dared to betray him, he would send you our photos. I'm afraid you will leave me after you know the truth, so I can only continue to endure it. For the past 3 years, I have lived in fear every day. I have thought about confessing to you countless times, but I didn't dare. I am afraid of losing you and losing this home. At this point, she was already sobbing. I looked at her, feeling mixed emotions. If what she said was true, then my accusation against her was too cruel. But what if she was lying? Do you have any evidence for this? I asked. Yes. She took out her cell phone, which contained text messages from Jiang Ziyuan threatening me, and a recording. I took the phone and saw a lot of threatening text messages from Jiang Ziyuan. The content was indeed as she said, full of threats and blackmail. After listening to the recording, I was even more shocked. Jiang Ziyuan clearly stated in the recording that if Lu Shiyu dared to resist, he would ruin her life. Why are you showing me this now? I asked. Because now I have nothing to lose. She smiled bitterly and said, since you don't want me anymore, I am not afraid of his threats anymore. I looked at the woman in front of me and suddenly felt that she was very strange. For 3 years, I thought I knew her. It turns out I knew nothing. Zhengyu, although I know it's too late to say anything, I still want to tell you. She looked at me and I really love you. I fell in love with you from the first time I met you. I am in pain every minute and every second when I am with Jiang Ziyuan. Every time I go home and see you, I can't wait to tell you everything. But I dare not, I'm afraid of losing you. Now I've lost my job, I've lost you, I've lost everything. But at least I can finally tell the truth. After she finished speaking, she looked at me quietly, waiting for my reaction. I feel very complicated and don't know whether to believe her or continue to hate her. If what she said was true, she was also a victim. But if she was lying, she was being too good at it. I need time to think about it, I said. I know. She nodded, whatever your decision is, I accept it. I just want you to know the truth, that's all. After saying that, she stood up and left. I was sitting in a cafe, feeling very confused. Things suddenly became complicated. If what Lu Shiyu said is true, what should I do? Continue to hate her, or forgive her? This question kept me awake at night. The next day, I didn't go to work. I need to think calmly about what Lu Shiyu said last night. If what she said was true, then the pain I have suffered for the past 3 years was just a misunderstanding. But if she was lying, she was being cunning. I decided to go to Chen Yiting to discuss it. What did you say? Chen Yiting's face turned ugly after hearing what I said. She said she was threatened? Yes, there are also recordings and text messages as evidence. I showed her the evidence Lu Shiyu gave me. Chen Yiting took a closer look and her expression became even gloomier. Zhengyu, you don't believe her, do you? She asked. I don't know whether to believe it or not. I answered honestly, if it is true. If it is true, then my husband is a beast. Chen Yiting said angrily, but have you ever thought that these evidences may be forged? Forgery? With the development of technology, isn't it easy to forge a text message or recording? She analyzed, and the timing is so coincidental, why did they take it out now? She has a point. Also, if she was really threatened, why did she look so happy in Nanjing? Chen Yiting continued, would someone who was threatened have that kind of sweet expression? I remembered the photos taken by the detective, and indeed, Lu Shiyu seemed very happy in front of Jiang Ziyuan. Maybe she was pretending to be happy to protect herself? I said uncertainly. Zhengyu, you are still too kind. Chen Yiting shook her head. This woman has deceived you for 3 years and now wants to deceive you with new lies. You can't be fooled again. I was silent. Chen Yiting is right, I really can't trust Lu Shiyu easily. So what do you think I should do? I asked. Continue as planned. Chen Yiting said firmly, divorce, let them pay the price. Regardless of whether what she said was true or false, betrayal is betrayal, and that is a fact. Even if she was threatened, she had the opportunity to choose. She could choose to refuse, to call the police, or to tell you. But she chose to hide and to deceive. So she has to bear the consequences. I nodded, thinking that what she said made sense. But there is still some uncertainty in my heart. Just then, my cell phone rang. It's an unfamiliar number. Hello? Is this Mr. Fan Jiangyu? Yes. I'm an assistant at a law firm and I have a document for you to sign. What file? Mr. Zhang Ziyuan entrusted us to give you the settlement agreement. Chen Yiting and I looked at each other and were both surprised. Zhang Ziyuan wants to reconcile? Okay, I'll be right there. We rushed to the law firm and the assistant handed me a thick document. This is Mr. Zhang Ziyuan's settlement proposal. The assistant said that he is willing to pay you 1 million as compensation for mental damages, on the condition that you withdraw all charges. 1 million? This number surprised me. Why did he want to reconcile? I asked. I don't know the specific reason, but his lawyer said that Mr. Zhang Ziyuan hopes to resolve the matter privately. I looked at the agreement and the terms were very detailed. Zhang Ziyuan was willing to pay 1 million, but asked me to promise not to pursue the matter further and not to spread the relevant information. Jiangyu, you won't consider reconciliation, right? Chen Yiting asked worriedly. I'm a little hesitant. 1 million is not a small amount of money. It's enough for me to start my life again. And if what Lu Shiyu said is true, then Zhang Ziyuan is indeed the main person responsible. I need to think about it, I told my assistant. Okay, Mr. Feng. But Mr. Zhang Ziyuan hopes you can reply as soon as possible, tomorrow afternoon at the latest. Chen Yiting was very unhappy when she came out of the law firm. Jiangyu, you don't really want to reconcile, do you? She asked me. Yiting, 1 million is not a small number. Money? She interrupted me. You're going to let them go just for money? It's not about the money, but... I want to explain, but I don't know how. But what? But you still have feelings for that woman? Chen Yiting's voice rose. Jiangyu, wake up. She has deceived you for 3 years and now wants to deceive you with new lies. Do you still want to be led by her? I was left speechless by what she said. Maybe she is right, I do still have feelings for Lu Shiyu. Even if you hate her, even if you want to take revenge on her, deep-rooted feelings cannot be cut off easily. Yiting, I understand your idea, but I need time to think about it. I said. Time? She sneered. No matter how much time you are given, you will never make up your mind. Jiangyu, I finally see clearly that you are an indecisive man. No wonder your wife dares to betray you blatantly, because she knows you won't do anything. It was harsh, but I had to admit there was some truth to it. If I were resolute and cruel enough, perhaps Lu Shiyu would not dare to do this to me. Yiting. Forget it. She waved her hands and said, it's your business if you want to reconcile. Don't drag me into this. I will make Zhang Ziyuan pay the price, no matter what you choose. After saying that, she left without looking back. I stood on the side of the road with mixed feelings. Chen Yiting's words were unpleasant to hear, but they made sense. I am indeed indecisive and always soft-hearted. But human emotions are so complicated that they can't be cut off just like that. When I got home at night, I lay in bed and thought for a long time. Finally, I made a decision. I'm going to find Zhang Ziyuan and ask him face to face. Regardless of whether what Lu Shiyu said is true or false, I want to hear what Zhang Ziyuan has to say. The next morning, I went to Zhang Ziyuan's house. He lives in an upscale community and his villa is very large and luxurious. He opened the door himself, and when he saw me, he was obviously stunned. Feng, Mr. Feng? Mr. Jiang, I want to talk to you. I said. Come in. He made way. In the living room, I saw a little girl watching TV. It should be his daughter. Xiaoya, go upstairs and play, Zhang Ziyuan said to his daughter. The little girl went upstairs obediently. Mr. Feng, please take a seat. Zhang Ziyuan was a little nervous. Are you here for the settlement agreement? Not really. I'm sitting down and I want to ask you some questions. What's the problem? About you and my wife. I looked her straight in the eye and she said she was threatened by you, is that true? Zhang Ziyuan's face changed and panic flashed in his eyes. She told you everything? My heart sank when I saw his reaction. Could it be that what Lu Shiyu said was true? Answer my question, I said coldly. Zhang Ziyuan was silent for a long time and finally nodded. Yes, I was the one who threatened her. Although I was mentally prepared, I was still shocked to hear him admit it himself. Why? I asked. Because I love her. Zhang Ziyuan smiled bitterly and said, I was attracted to her from the first day she entered the company. But she is a very conservative girl and there is no way she would accept me. So I used some dirty tactics. What means? I deliberately created opportunities to be alone with her and took some ambiguous photos. Zhang Ziyuan lowered his head and said that although nothing actually happened, it looked like there was some relationship from the photos. Then I threatened her that if she didn't obey me, I would send the photos to people in the company. She was afraid of damaging her reputation, so she had no choice but to give in. Hearing this makes me angry and sick. It turns out that Lu Shiyu is really the victim. But I have been blaming her and hating her. What happened next? Why did it develop to this point? I continue to ask. It started with some intimate acts, but I pushed further and further, and my demands became more and more excessive. Zhang Ziyuan said that when she tried to resist, I threatened to ruin her life. When I found out she was going to marry you, I was jealous and angry. I threatened her that if she dared to betray me, I would tell you about our relationship. In order to protect your marriage, she can only continue to endure it. Over the years, she has cried and begged me countless times, but I just wouldn't let her go. Because I know that once I let go, I will never get her again. Zhang Ziyuan's words made me completely understand the truth. It turns out that I have misunderstood Lu Shiyu for the past 3 years. She didn't betray me voluntarily, but was forced to do so. It's not that she doesn't love me, but she wants to protect me. Thinking of this, I feel deeply guilty. How could I doubt her? How could I treat her like that? Mr. Feng, I know I deserve death. Zhang Ziyuan suddenly knelt down and begged me not to destroy my family. My daughter is still young. If this matter gets out, she will be under tremendous pressure. If 1 million is not enough, I can add more. I looked at Zhang Ziyuan kneeling on the ground, and a huge anger surged in my heart. This beast destroyed my marriage with Lu Shiyu, and now he wants to pay away the money? Zhang Ziyuan, do you think money can solve everything? I said coldly. I know money can't solve the problem, but I really know I was wrong. He begged, please have mercy on me and let me go this time. Let you go? I sneered, then who will let my wife go through the pain of the past 3 years? Who will forgive me for these 3 years of misunderstanding? Who will let go of our ruined marriage? Zhang Ziyuan had nothing to say and could only kowtow continuously. I looked at him, my anger reaching its peak. But at the same time, I also realized a serious problem. I wronged Lu Shiyu. How should I face her and apologize to her? 3 years of indifference and suspicion are all based on mistakes. I owe Lu Shiyu an apology, a huge apology. After leaving Zhang Ziyuan's house, I went straight to find Lu Shiyu. She now lives in a small hotel in very poor conditions. My heart was beating fast when there was a knock on the door. Who? Lu Shiyu's tired voice came from inside. It's me, Youngwoo. The door opened and Lu Shiyu appeared at the door. She was wearing simple clothes, her hair was messy and her face looked haggard. When she saw me, surprise flashed in her eyes. Zhang Yu? Why are you here? I want to talk to you. I said, can I come in? She made way and I entered the small room. The room was very simple, with only a bed, a table, and even the window was very small. Compared to our previous home, this place is like a slum. Have you looked for Jiang Ziyuan? She sat on the bed and asked with her head down. Yes. He admitted as I sat in the chair across from her. Lu Shiyu's body trembled, but she didn't look up. He admitted to threatening you and admitted that he took the initiative. I continued, Shiyu, I owe you an apology. She finally looked up at me, her eyes full of tears. Zhang Yu. I misunderstood you over the past 3 years. My voice was a little choked up. I thought you betrayed me on your own initiative. I hated you and resented you for saying so many hurtful things to you. But I didn't know that you had been enduring the pain and protecting our marriage. It's my fault. I didn't protect you well. No, it's not your fault. Lu Shiyu shook her head, tears streaming down her face. It was me who didn't trust you and didn't tell you the truth. If I had confessed earlier, maybe things wouldn't have come to this. We all cried for the 3 years of misunderstanding and for the ruined marriage. Shiyu, can we start over? I reached out and wanted to hold her hand. But she dodged. No, Zhangyu, we can't go back. She shook her head and said, I have been defiled by Jiang Ziyuan. I am not clean anymore. I don't deserve to start over with you. Nonsense. I stood up and said excitedly, you are the victim, you are not wrong. But the facts are the facts. Lu Shiyu smiled bitterly and said, in the past 3 years, he and I, we have done a lot of things. Although I hated him to death in my heart, the physical contact was a fact. How can I face you? How can I face our marriage? My heart ached when I saw her painful expression. It turned out that the pain she endured was greater than I thought. Not only did she have to endure Jiang Ziyuan's violations, but she also had to endure the inner torment and guilt. Shiyu, listen to me. I squatted in front of her and looked into her eyes. You have no choice, you are forced. No one with a conscience would blame you. I don't blame you, I only blame myself for not protecting you. But Zhangyu, can you promise that you won't T-minded in the future? She asked, can you promise that you won't think of these things when you are intimate with me? I was stunned. It would be a lie to say I don't mind, it will indeed become a shadow between us. But I believe that as long as we love each other, these shadows can be dispelled. Shiyu, I admit that I might mind and think about these things. I say this honestly, but what I know more clearly is that I love you. I love you as a person, not your past. We cannot change the past, but we can recreate the future. We can cover the painful past with new and beautiful memories. Lu Shiyu looked at me, with emotion and hesitation in her eyes. But the rumors out there. I don't care what others say. I interrupted her, Shiyu, as long as we love each other and trust each other, the outside voices are not important. Moreover, I will make Jiang Ziyuan pay the price, and I will seek justice for you. Small Bluff BOT document anti-piracy printing, find, book, machine person select small bluff, stable reliable, don't step into traps. Hearing this, Lu Shiyu shook her head. No, Zhangyu, let this matter go. She said, I don't want to have anything to do with Jiang Ziyuan anymore. But he hurt you. He has lost his job and his reputation, and that is enough. Lu Shiyu said, I just want to forget all this and start over. I understand where she is coming from. As a victim, she hopes to end this nightmare as soon as possible. Okay, I'll listen to you. I said, but Shiyu, you have to promise me one thing. What's up? No matter what difficulties or threats you encounter in the future, you must tell me. I said seriously that we are husband and wife and should face everything together. If you don't trust me and don't tell me the truth, it will give bad guys an opportunity to take advantage. Lu Shiyu nodded, I promise you, I will tell you everything later. So, let's start over. I held out my hand again. This time, she didn't dodge, but held my hand tightly. Zhangyu, thank you for still wanting me, she said while crying. Silly girl, you are my wife, of course I want you. I pulled her up and hugged her tightly. And, from now on, I will compensate you double. I want to let you know what true love is and what true happiness is. We hugged each other and cried for a long time, for the pain of the past and for the love we found again. Shiyu, let's go home, I said. Okay. She nodded and we went home. After packing her luggage, we left the hotel together. On the way home, I called Chen Yiting. Yiting, I decided not to sue Jiang Ziyuan. What? Her voice was angry. Young Wu, are you crazy? I'm not crazy, I just want to start over with my wife. I said, Shiyu doesn't want to be entangled in this matter anymore. But Jiang Ziyuan. He has lost his job and reputation, this is the price. I said, Yiting, you can continue to pursue him, I will not stop you, but please understand my choice. Chen Yiting was silent for a long time, and finally said, Zhengyu, I respect your decision, but I think you will regret it. Maybe, but it's my choice. After hanging up the phone, Lu Shiyu looked at me worriedly. Zhengyu, did I cause you any trouble? No, this is my decision. I held her hand and said, Shiyu, from now on, we should only care about our own happiness and not care about other people's opinions. After returning home and looking at the familiar environment, tears welled up in Lu Shiyu's eyes. Zhengyu, I thought I would never come back. She said. This will always be your home. I said, no matter what happens, you can always come back. We talked for a long time that night. I told her about my pain and anger over the past few days, and she told me about her fear and despair over the past 3 years. We talked about all the misunderstandings and shared all the pain. Shiyu, we must trust and support each other in the future. I said, no matter what difficulties we encounter, we must face them together. Okay, I understand. She nodded, Zhengyu, I love you. I love you too. We hugged each other and felt each other's warmth. At this moment, we both knew that our love had been tested and had become stronger. Although the pain of the past cannot be erased, we believe that the happiness of the future will be more precious. The next day, we went to the Civil Affairs Bureau together. It's not about going through the divorce procedures, but about taking new wedding photos. Although our marriage license is still valid, we want a fresh start. When taking pictures, Lu Shiyu smiled sweetly and I was very happy too. This is the happiest moment for us in the past 3 years. From today on, we are real husband and wife, I said to her. Yes, a real couple, she replied. We walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau hand in hand. The sun was shining and the breeze was blowing gently. Everything is a new beginning. A month later, life gradually returned to normal. Lu Shiyu found a new job as a designer in a design company. Although her salary is not as high as before, she is very happy because she has finally gotten rid of Jiang Ziyuan's shadow. Our relationship is also better than before. After experiencing this turmoil, we cherish each other more and understand the importance of communication. Zhengyu, today a colleague in the company asked me what the secret of our good relationship is. Lu Shiyu said during dinner. How did you answer? I asked. I said, the secret is to trust each other and be honest with each other. She smiled and said, but they don't know what we have been through. Then don't let them know. I said, it's enough for us to know what happened in the past. Yes. She nodded, Zhengyu, I have something to discuss with you. What's up? I want a child. She looked at me with expectation in her eyes. We have been married for 3 years, and it is time for us to have a baby. I was stunned for a moment, then laughed. Okay, I want a child too. I said, it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, as long as it's ours. Really? She asked happily. Of course it's true. I took her hand and said, Shiyu, with a child, our family will be more complete. That night, we truly became husband and wife. Not with all the pain and misunderstanding like before, but with all the love and warmth. In each other's arms, we both felt unprecedented happiness. 3 months later, Lu Shiyu became pregnant. When we heard the news, we all cried with excitement. Zhengyu, we are going to have a baby. She hugged me and said. Yes, our baby. I stroked her still flat belly. He will be very happy because he has loving parents. Lu Shiyu was very beautiful during her pregnancy, and her whole body exuded the radiance of motherhood. I took even better care of her, fearing that she might feel unwell. Zhang Yu, if you do this, I will become a disabled person. She protested with a smile, saying that pregnancy is not a disease. I just want to treat you like a treasure. I said, you have suffered so much, now it is time to enjoy happiness. Thinking of the past, a hint of haze flashed across her eyes, but soon they brightened again. That's all in the past. Now we have a new life, a new hope, she said. Yes, we have. One day, we met Chen Yating when we were shopping for baby products in the mall. She looked healthy and was accompanied by a little girl. Zheng Yu, Shi Yu. She took the initiative to say hello. Yating. We also responded politely. I heard you guys reconciled? She asked, with some mixed emotions in her eyes. Yes, I said, and we are having a baby. Shen Yating looked at Lu Shiyu's belly and nodded. Congratulations, she said, but her voice sounded forced. Yating, what happened between you and Zhang Ziyuan? Lu Shiyu asked carefully. We are divorced. Chen Yating simply replied that he is working in another city now and we seldom contact each other. There was some awkwardness in the air, after all, we had that kind of past. That's good. Lu Shiyu didn't know what to say. Shiyu. Chen Yating suddenly said, I want to apologize to you. What? Lu Shiyu was a little surprised. I didn't know the truth before, and I had many misunderstandings and accusations against you. Chen Yating said, now I know that you are also a victim, and I am very sorry. It's okay, Yating. Lu Shiyu shook her head. The situation was very complicated at that time, and your reaction was normal. No matter what, I hope you can be happy. Chen Yating said sincerely, you are all good people and deserve a good life. Thank you. We are all very touched. When they parted, Chen Yating took her daughter away. Looking at their backs, I felt a little emotional. It's not a poison, it's just a medicine my friend gave me, saying it can make women more proactive. Xiao, I was thinking, if we had handled it better, maybe so many people wouldn't have been injured. I said. The past cannot be changed. Lu Shiyu held my hand and said, all we can do is cherish the present and live a good life in the future. You're right. 9 months later, our son was born. He is healthy and cute, looks like me, but has Lu Shiyu's eyes. Zheng Yu, what should we name him? Lu Shiyu asked while holding the child. Let's call him Feng Siyuan. I said, I hope he will always remember that family is the source of his strength. What a good name. She smiled and nodded, Siyuan, baby, do you like this name? Little Siyuan seemed to understand and giggled in his mother's arms. Looking at this heartwarming scene, I felt unprecedented satisfaction.